The Wende Neen Show. Now here's your host, Wende Neen.
Welcome back to the Wende Neen Show. I am your host, Wende Neen, and I guess right now you already have guessed from the music you hear in the background as well as who's sitting right here next to me. Who is it? None other than Georgia's finest, KingBlitz.
Thank you for having me today.
No, thank you. And welcome to the Wende Neen Show.
Thank you for letting me come here and invade a little bit.
All right. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because, you know, this is the one that I get turned up on.
Yeah, turn up song right there. That's the party starter right there.
Exactly. That's my favorite one, too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
But I like all of them. But
Thank
that's
you.
my favorite.
Thank you.
All right. So, I am so delighted to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. I didn't even know 3 years ago. I didn't know that this would be where we would be at.
That is what I'm talking about. Let's talk about that for a second. And this is what's amazing. Actually, I think it was longer than 3 years.
Yeah. I think 2008 maybe?
That's what I'm thinking. 2008. This dude was working at the Smoothie King or
Planet Smoothie.
Planet Smoothie, yes.
Planet Smoothie.
And of course, everyone that follows me on Twitter knows that I love smoothies.
It's been that way for years. For years, believe me.
Exactly. So I would go there every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point that when I would walk in, you already knew I wanted what?
Trading with twig and berries, or twig and berries. One of them, twig and berries, some with berries.
Exactly. That is it. The strawberries and bananas. And that's exactly how he would do it, just like he just did. Twig and berry, right? And I'm like,
I don't know why.
that's
I don't know where I seen that from. What she's doing.
That's how he would do it.
You know, she used to come in every day. Well, and when I worked, at least every day I worked, come in and get the same thing. You know what I'm saying? She'd bring her little youngest and everything, and that's pretty much how we met. She actually used to have conversations with me.
Yes, we did, and that's when I first got a little taste of Blitz.
Yeah, that was before you even knew about the man behind the twig and berries.
Yes, it was, definitely. And the interesting thing about, and that's why sometimes I always tell people, you just never know why you cross paths.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Saw you in there every day working. You don't work there anymore. Now you're doing all of this. I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day we're on Twitter and what happens?
I followed you, you followed me, or
Right,
whatever.
don't we know each other?
Yeah, I was just like, wow, I just thought about it the other day, like, and it happened,
Exactly.
like, wow.
So, but anyway, that's the thing about life. So that's how it got started. So now that we're here right now, I want to hear your story, and so many of us others out there want to hear yours as well.
Okay, well, my story started off when I was 9 years old. That's when I was just on a bus coming home from a field trip. I don't know where this came from, but I was just on the bus sitting next to my Mexican friend or whatever at the time, named Mario. Shout out to Mario.
Hi, Mario.
And I'm just looking out the window as we coming back to the school, and I just said, I want to rap. And I looked at him and I was like, let's rap. He was like, let's stop yinging. And I'm like, okay, whatever that meant, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then we immediately went to the classroom, started writing raps, and then we brought, a couple other people in the group. Named the first group I ever was in was called AKA 45. This was in 4th grade. We just added all our ages together and called AKA. And made it AKA 45. And eventually, I just kept doing it, kept writing, figured out it was actually my passion.
Mm-hmm.
And they just stopped. And
voila. Wow. Now, my understanding is that you kind of have a gospel background. Your parents were in the gospel.
Yeah, I used to, when I was younger, my father started a group called Unity. And eventually he brought my mother, she was a singer, and they started a group called Unity. And when I was younger, I used to travel with them a lot because she done perform. But it never really did anything to me to say, hey, I want to do music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was always around it, and mom and pops do gospel.
Now, were you a preacher's kid or
no?
Just okay?
My father's actually a pastor now.
Okay.
But he just started maybe 3 years ago. But I didn't grow up in like a pastor's home or nothing like that.
Okay. So that makes a little difference.
Yeah, so that's how I started off. I started doing the rap thing with gospel in the church and everything, so, yeah.
So was the pressure on you to more so sing versus rap?
No. No. Me singing, no. I actually did songs singing. Well, of course, auto-tune, thanks to auto-tune. Right. But no, that ain't me. The pressure, no.
Do you think auto-tune would help me?
It help. But you gotta know how to hit a note. Like I can go, and, as long as you hit the note somewhat, it'll get you.
Okay, I'll give you a sample one day.
Okay, one day.
All right. You are a Pebblebrook alumni.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. 2010, class 2010.
Shout out, 10. Shout out.
10.
All right, so now my understanding is you were voted most likely to be famous.
Yes, ma'am.
What's up with that?
Let me tell you, the crazy part about this whole scenario is during that time period, I was actually, I ain't gonna say I was beefing with the whole class, it wasn't that, but it was just a group of people, you know, who were popular at that time that, you know, I had differences with. And, what am I trying to say? Yeah, I had differences with or whatever. What was the question?
You were voted most likely to be famous.
That happens, world. That happens, world. Anyway,
what's up with
I was voted with them. I mean, you know, I had this little scenario going on with them or whatever, and nobody, I guess, in my class, I guess, vibed with me too much, except for the people that I knew. Okay. Next thing I know, they was giving out the singing superlatives.
Right.
I just so happened to be sitting next to frenemies, I guess. They called out, you know, all the other ones, and then they said, voted most likely to be famous, Randall Berry, and I'm just sitting. They're like, this you. I'm like, me? Me? Really? You know what I'm saying? So that was a real big blessing. I didn't even know I was nominated.
Wow.
I didn't even know.
Well, look at us now.
Yeah. Started from the bottom, now we here.
All right, so now when you finished high school, you did a CD or something?
I actually released my first CD at 15 years old.
Wow.
That was my first record. I produced it, recorded it.
That was while you were still in school?
Yeah, that was during the time period of gospel music. Okay. Around 17 when I was, in high school, that's when I started, doing my own thing. When I graduated, 2010, that's when I released 3 mixtapes back to back.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like month after month. It was like one in October, one on Thanksgiving, and then immediately after that it was Christmas. So yeah, that's when I started really taking it real serious.
Okay.
So
it's interesting that you say that, because around that age, 17, 18 and all that, you're making music, putting out songs, and a lot of times teens are having a very challenging, difficult time in life. How were you able to kind of overcome some of those challenges?
My mother was very strict.
Very strict?
Very strict.
Okay.
And the reason why I said it is because I won't say I wasn't allowed to go out and do things, but because she was so protective over me or whatever, and had me sheltered, I didn't really have enough time to go out and do the dumb thing. I had time to just really focus on music.
Right.
So it was sort of bittersweet, but now I'm sort of happy, you know what I mean? So It worked out for the better. So yeah, 17, I was just working in music.
Yeah, and speaking of 17, obviously we've had some things going on, the Trayvon Martin situation. It's my understanding that you've done something that kind of attributes to that? Yes,
I did a record about a year ago called Here We Are. It was on a mixtape I did called Before Long. Yep, it was on a mixtape called Before Long, and the record was pretty much, I mean, the situation alone, I just wanted to let people know, like, besides Trayvon Martin, this is happening, period. Trayvon Martin is just, the scenario was just crazy and it blew up, you know what I'm saying? So from that, on the record, I actually spoke from his aspect, like from how, it all played out, from him walking on with tea and Skittles, seeing the man, I rapped it, I wrote the message from like as if I was him, and it really it touched a lot of, well, for the most part, it touched a lot of people. It was the first record that made my mother cry.
Sounds like it would.
Yeah.
Let's hear a little bit of it.
Okay.
We kind of have it sitting here.
Skittles in my hand and it's easy to go. On the phone conversating to my girl, I see somebody looking at me that I don't know. What he won't though, I don't care. I'ma pay no attention and continue to walk. See him walking up with this blind stare, but I'ma pay no attention and continue to talk. Hold up, what you follow me for? Asking me what am I doing around? Then he attacked me to the ground. I'm on the phone with my girl, but he knocked it down. I get up and I scream for help. Pulling out his gun and I start to get
wow.
And everybody going run in their house and people looking at me out through the window sill. At this point, then I yell again.
Blitz, that's intense.
Thank you.
And it gets deep.
That's the emotion I was trying to kill.
Yeah, you are definitely reenacting that moment. and I can feel it.
Yeah, it's giving me chills now.
Yeah,
like, for real.
that's what I say when I say I can feel it.
Cause it's one of the, like, music is one of those things where I don't even know what space it comes from. Like, just how I started music, I don't even know where it came from. Like, of course I know my parents do music, but they didn't, it wasn't like that's because I've seen them all want to do it.
Right.
So now when I do records like that, I actually take a step back and become a fan and be like, wow, God really, these hands really created this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Created that message, so I'm real happy that he felt what I was trying to do.
Oh, absolutely. You did an excellent job on that
Thank you.
one. Okay, so what we're gonna do, looking here at my camera guy, saying we gotta wrap this one up so we can start our phase 2 on this. This is not the end of us sitting and talking to King Blitz.
Yes, sir.
So definitely what we're gonna do is close this one out. Be on the lookout for part 2. This is how we do it. It is what it is. It is done.